How did the Las Vegas Raiders go from stagnation to a potentially explosive season? And what bold moves are shaking the team today? This latest Raiders news reveals an incredible shift, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. With the offensive coordinator in the spotlight, Davante Adams' future on the line, and a rising quarterback drama, Raiders fans are in for a wild ride. In today's Raiders Update, we dissect the management's daring decisions and what it means for the rest of the season. Stick around as we break down these 3 key predictions for the team's future. If you love hearing the latest Raiders news, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Stay with us for this deep dive into the Raiders' potential turning point, and make sure to comment your thoughts below. Where are the Las Vegas Raiders headed after a tough series of losses this season? If you're a fan of the Raiders today, you've probably been asking yourself this very question. It's been a challenging journey, but the latest developments suggest something remarkable is happening within the organization. From strategic shifts to personnel changes, Raiders management has decided it's time to shake things up. This kind of mid-season reckoning is not new to the NFL, but the Raiders' approach stands out. In fact, they're making moves that are as bold as they are controversial. As we dive into this narrative, one thing is clear. The Raiders aren't content with mediocrity. The team's leadership is signaling that big changes are not just on the horizon, they're already in motion. Over the next few minutes, I'll take you through 3 critical predictions that could redefine the Raiders season. And by the end, you might be left wondering, could this be the moment that turns everything around for Las Vegas? Let's get into the story behind these game-changing moves. Let's start with the offense, a unit that has been underperforming all season long. Offensive coordinator Luke Getsy is the first major figure facing the possibility of an exit. Head coach Antonio Pierce has made it clear that something needs to change to ignite this sluggish offensive machine, and many believe Getsy will be the one to go. It's no secret that the Raiders' offense has been frustrating to watch. Playmaking decisions have often fallen flat, and while Getsy might not be the sole cause of these issues, it's becoming apparent he's not the solution either. This has led to rising speculation that senior offensive assistant Joe Philbin could step into the coordinator role to turn things around. Could this be the spark that the Raiders' offense desperately needs? The stakes are high, and so is the pressure on Pierce to make the right call. For fans of Raiders news, this is the turning point where the leadership must decide. Do they stick with what's familiar, or do they take a risk and make a change? If the decision to fire Getsy is made, it might signal a whole new direction for the Raiders playbook. Next, we turn our attention to one of the Raiders' brightest stars, wide receiver Davante Adams. The news of his potential trade has been looming for weeks, and as the November trade deadline approaches, it feels more inevitable with each passing day. Adams requested a trade 13 days ago, but even without his request, the team was likely preparing to move him. For a player of Adams' caliber, the idea of suiting up for a different team feels surreal, but it's rooted in practicality. With the Raiders' playoff hopes fading, keeping him on the roster doesn't align with their long-term strategy. His departure might be heartbreaking for fans, but it's a move that makes sense if the Raiders are looking to rebuild. As we follow Raiders news closely, one can't help but wonder where Adams will land. Will he join a contender and leave behind a team in transition? While his time with the Raiders might be coming to an end, his impact on this season and the team's future will be felt long after he's gone. The next few days will be crucial as the trade deadline draws near. The final piece of this unfolding drama is the quarterback position. Rookie Aiden OConnell has shown promise, and many believe it's time for the Raiders to give him the starting job for the rest of the season. The current quarterback, Gardner Minshew, has been serviceable, but with the season on the line, it's essential to think about the future. O'Connell's decision-making and accuracy have impressed in limited action, leading fans and analysts alike to call for a shift. While Minshew provides stability, he's not seen as the long-term solution for the team. This raises the question, should the Raiders continue with Minshew or take a leap of faith on O'Connell? For the Raiders today, this decision is about more than just one season. It's about finding out whether O'Connell is the quarterback of the future. The only way to know is to let him play. And with the team's chances at the playoffs dwindling, there's no better time than now to see what he's made of. 5. The ripple effect of change. These 3 moves, a possible firing of the offensive coordinator, the trade of Davante Adams, and the elevation of Aiden OConnell, represent a seismic shift for the Raiders. Each decision will have long-lasting effects on the team, and together they could define the rest of the season. The Raiders' management knows they need to act quickly if they want to salvage anything from this turbulent year. For Raiders fans, the uncertainty is both exciting and nerve-wracking. Change is coming, and it's coming fast. Whether these moves will lead to success or further struggles remains to be seen. What's certain, though, is that the Raiders are no longer content with standing still. There's a new urgency within the organization, and the decisions they make in the coming days will set the tone for the future. It's a high-stakes situation, and every fan watching Raiders news right now knows that what happens next could define this era of the team. Head coach Antonio Pierce is now in the spotlight, tasked with navigating these stormy waters. His leadership will be critical in determining how these changes play out on the field. Can he rally the team and find the right formula for success? It's a question that weighs heavily on Raiders today. Pierce inherited a roster with talent, but also with glaring weaknesses. His challenge is to mold this group into a cohesive unit while dealing with the inevitable distractions of trades, firings, and quarterback controversies. How he handles these challenges will shape not only the Raiders season, but also his own career. For a first-time head coach, this is a defining moment. If Pierce can manage the turmoil and lead the team to a strong finish, he'll earn the trust of the organization and fans alike. But if things spiral out of control, his tenure could be short-lived. All eyes are on him as these pivotal decisions are made. As a Raiders fan, it's easy to feel frustrated right now. The team has shown flashes of potential, but the results haven't followed. The Raiders fan base is one of the most passionate in the league, and they've endured more than their fair share of ups and downs. With all these changes, it's hard not to wonder, is this the start of something great or just another false dawn? For some, these moves represent hope, a chance to finally get things right. The idea of a fresh start, with a new quarterback and potentially a revamped offense, is enticing. Others, however, may feel disillusioned, especially if a beloved player like Davante Adams is traded away. In the end, Raiders fans are looking for something to believe in. Whether these bold decisions lead to success or disappointment, the team's loyal supporters will be watching closely. The coming weeks will be a critical time for the fan base as they wait to see how this story unfolds. So, what's next for the Raiders? The path forward is filled with uncertainty, but one thing is clear. Big changes are coming, and they're coming fast. As the trade deadline looms, decisions about personnel, play calling, and the future of the quarterback position will shape the rest of the season. It's not just about this year, though. The Raiders' leadership is thinking long-term, and the moves they make now will have ripple effects for seasons to come. Whether they trade Adams or give O'Connell the keys to the offense, they're making decisions with an eye on the future. For fans and analysts alike, this is one of the most fascinating periods in recent Raiders history. What happens over the next few weeks could set the tone for the next few years. Buckle up, because the ride is just getting started. As we come to the end of this discussion, one thing is undeniable. The Raiders are at a crossroads. The management has made bold moves, and now it's time to see if those moves will pay off. From the potential firing of Luke Getsy to the likely trade of Davante Adams and the possible promotion of Aiden OConnell, the Raiders are betting on the future. For fans, this is both exciting and daunting. The changes could lead to a thrilling second half of the season, or they could signal the beginning of a rebuild. Either way, the Raiders are no longer sitting idly by. They're taking action. And now, I turn it over to you, Raiders Nation. Do you think the team is making the right moves? Should Aiden OConnell start for the rest of the season? Will you miss Davante Adams if he's traded? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss the latest Raiders news.